Next week, the Knesset will be holding its first ever unity event where lawmakers will discuss ways to bring together the Jewish people. Aviyu Sofer is a co-founder of the movement for the unity of the people in the Knesset, and he's here to tell us more. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
So to begin, I've never heard of the movement for the unity of the Jewish nation. Can you talk to us about this?
Of course, Israel today is a country which celebrated its 68th birthday a few months ago, and basically we're different people. We have today a phrase in Hebrew saying that we're living in different tribes here. We have religious Jews, we have Orthodox Jews, we have non-religious Jews, we have people who just made Aliyah from Russia, from Ethiopia, people who made Aliyah 30 or 40 or 50 years ago, people who are coming from Ashkenazi country, people who are Mizrahim as well. So all those, it's like a big salad, and all those people are living here together. And we're trying, Israel is like a country of many contradictions, and we're trying to find a way of how, without taking the unique flavor and taste and mentality of each one of these tribes, to create one big tribe that the unity is a little bit above all the differences.
So what are some of the issues that you guys focus on? Is that education, religious issues?
True. Education is always the story. Education is the place and the root for everything to be changed. But let's say if we take the differences, so we're looking at religious and non-religious, that's one thing. There are people who are Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox in Israel, they don't go to the army, they don't serve in the army. That's a big dispute here in Israel. People like it, don't like it, disagree with it, and so on. There are people who are living in Judea and Samaria. Some of the people in Israel think they shouldn't live in Judea and Samaria, they should live somewhere else. And if they live there, they should not be receiving all these budgets and so on. So how do you take all these things together? There are people who made Aliyah from Russia 20 or 25 years ago, but they're still living in the little ghettos and maybe not mixed in the Israeli society. On the other hand, they want to preserve or they want to keep their own tradition. So how do you take all those things, how do you take all those different people, men, women, young, old, and so on, and build out of them something together? To take into consideration, Israel is a very young country that has many problems and many enemies around it, sometimes doesn't have time to deal with its own problems, with its own connections.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. When you think about all these different issues that the Jewish people within Israel face, you think, how do we have time to solve all the, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? We have to focus on this as well.
And one of the issues is that when there is a war, we put aside all those differences and we will live together, because the threat from the outside is keeping us together. But once the threat is out, and at the moment there's not really a threat on Israel. Israel is a strong country, it has a strong army, and our friends overseas are supporting us and so on. But still inside, we are lacking the ability to create this glue that will help us live together and build this bridge above the differences amongst us.
How did you come up with the idea for this movement?
Well, life brought us into this idea, and life brought me into this idea. I'm coming from I studied the wisdom of Kabbalah for about 20 years, and one of the major ideas in the wisdom of Kabbalah is to try and unite the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel, was built on the idea which we call mutual guarantee. And when the country was young and it was a small place, so people, it succeeded. Everything was easy. With the years, the country is bigger. There are many, many people who made Aliyah into Israel, many different people and so on. And we're facing problems. We're facing issues. We're facing conflicts, which we don't necessarily know how to deal with. One of the ways that we offer is discussion, roundtables, and to sit down in a circle and try and discuss things. Try and start speaking with each other. Because when you don't know the other, you think that that he looks like this or looks like that, or that he's dangerous, or maybe that all the stereotypes come out. But once you start sitting down and discuss, and you try to look for the mutual thing, for the thing which unites us together, above the differences, usually you find it.
And now you guys have actually created a special unity event that is going to be in the Knesset next week.
True.
Tell us about that. What is it going to entail?
For start, it's really exciting because the Knesset is one of the places which everyone who follows it knows that it's really cuts the people into pieces, because the different parties in order to each one to represent its own sector, has to raise issues which are in the conflict of Israel. So the idea is to try and bring the discussion into the Knesset. For a start, to sit down people from different parties and from different directions, from different angles and so on one hand. On the other hand, is to connect between the Knesset members and people who are coming from the different associations, NGOs, education organizations, people who are working in the education system, and to try and sit down all of these people together. The movement or the lobby is a non-for-profit. It's not an issue of money. It's something that we do voluntarily, and the idea is to bring the need for unity into the table, to make it, to sit down on the table, that it will be an important issue, and the Knesset chairman, the Knesset member Yuli Edelstein, and the Knesset member Yoav Kish are both heading it. We're hoping that the Prime Minister will come and grade this idea as well. So it brings into the importance and into the knowledge of the people the need for unity above the differences, above the contradictions, above the different mentalities that we live at.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It was great to hear about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens after this event.
Well, you're mostly invited.
Thank you.